I like how.
Hi, and welcome to In the Front Row. My name is Jamie Lee, and today I am joined with my panel of my Secret Invasion panel, I guess you could call them. I have John from Movie Lovers Unite, and I have Jace and Don from over at Multiverse of Geekdom.
I
Every
was
time
gonna say I was wondering if you were gonna mess it up.
I always do. I always go to say Multiverse of Madness, and I'm like, as much as I love Scarlet Witch, they will never compete.
We are madness, though.
Yes.
I mean, yeah, we can't argue with that. Anyway, how are we, guys? We good?
Doing great.
Doing A-OK. I did some illegal things, and I watched this show on my way home.
Wow.
While driving.
I'm glad that you went with that illegal thing and not anything else. So cool. That's
the only illegal thing I did.
What are you talking about?
Yep. I know nothing.
I don't know
what was the thing from Flash, John? How does it go? I can't make a comment right now. I refuse to comment right now, or whatever he said multiple times. I can't comment right now. I can't comment. Yeah.
That's so funny.
All right. We will go around the panel real quick and just say what you thought of this episode before we get into the exact things of what happened in this episode. So, John, did you like it?
I really love this one. I think that this is actually a step in the right direction that I was hoping for whenever you look at this kind of political kind of show with this also mixed in with the Winter Soldier kind of thing. But this is more of a serious tone, which is something I really liked about it. Then this is also dealing with more stuff within the Skrulls and explaining more stuff. And I dig it. I totally love the suspense of it. I love the whole entire organization about Nick Fury. But we'll get into that in a few minutes. But I'm just geeked out over it. I'm excited to actually talk about this episode. So yeah, overall, I thought this was a better episode.
Awesome. What about you, John?
Yeah, this is just the worst episode ever. I mean, they just got nothing right now. No.
Get out of here, Taco.
I really enjoyed this. No, I was gonna try to bring Taco back in. No,
we love embodying Taco.
We love you, Taco. No, seriously, no. I really did enjoy this episode a lot. I agree with what John said. I really like. I mean, Cheadle's always he's been one of my favorite actors for a long time. So seeing him back, I love. He's getting some more time in the MCU. But yeah, overall, I really love this episode and just sort of where they're going with it, because now it does feel more like a political intrigue MCU show, which is kind of what I wanted. So yeah, I'm excited.
Gotcha. Jace?
I mean, I agree with everything that's been said. I do think this was definitely a really nice episode, and it was more of the secretness and what was really going on behind the scenes of the secret invasion that has, from what we understand, has been going on for a little bit now. Just a little bit. A little bit. People have been, invading these politics and such things, and it's been. I think it was a great intro.
Bad man.
Fucking hell, man! God.
A long time, specifically back to 1995. I think it was 95. We got that flashback scene with Fury.
Yep.
And then we got a flashback scene in 1997 with Gravik, where he was a young teenager, and he came. And he came to Fury as a son that had lost his parents in the battle, and Fury sort of said, this is very dangerous. And he said he's brave, he's not afraid, things like this. So Fury and him embraced. So we got that little bit of a backstory, I guess, as to where last week, me specifically was saying, why does he have such a grudge towards Fury? Like he couldn't, it was very directed at him, all of this stuff that's going on. And it's more than just, he couldn't find them a home. So yeah, we get to see that they built up a little bit of a relationship there. We had a moment with Talos, however you guys pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
Saying to everybody, he trusts Fury, we have to wear this face as a disguise sort of thing in order to blend in and to fit in until they can find us a new home. So what did you guys think of that opening scene before we get to the little Marvel intro that we get with them?
Yeah.
I mean, young Samuel L. Jackson, I'll always take and it was actually really well done. Like it didn't look, bad. It actually looked really well done. He looked like he was a younger version of himself. And I mean, he just always knows how to carry a room. Like he's very, commanding when he speaks as Nick Fury, and
he has great speeches just in general.
Yeah, he does. He so does.
He has a lot. I will say this episode, he has a lot of really nice lines and stuff like that.
Yeah, definitely. I do like the fact that you're dealing with the refugees within this world, and Nick wants to make sure that they're being kept safe, but also too under the guidelines of what they set up. And there's no written contract, no negotiations. It's just like a handshake kind of thing, where it's like, okay, as long as you guys promise not to do anything that's dangerous, then you guys are safe. And I know this is a lot to ask for, and it's going to take guts to do what you guys are going to be doing. So I like that moment where you have the Skrulls kind of afraid to change, and then you see one person embracing it, and then another person, and then seeing the kid do it. I love that scene. The speech to me hit me with feels, and it just shows you that they want the best for their kids. That's the first thing I thought of, and making sure their kids are being taken care of. And I thought you're looking from a lens from a different angle compared to just looking at it through the eyes of somebody else. And that's how I looked at it. We're looking at it through the eyes of the Skrulls and why they're coming to Earth and the reason why they're coming. And I also like the flashback scenes from 1995 to 1997. I thought that was actually a good way to connect the dots because of the fact with Carol Danvers from Captain Marvel. So I thought that was really good. So, I thought it was cool to see a younger Samuel L. Jackson in this as well. I thought the deepfake was really good for it.
Yeah. I'm a real overthinker, and I overthink a lot of things, as we probably already know, but there was a big thing about trust in this. Trust just kept getting brought up. And I know I'm jumping well ahead here, and I'm really predicting further beyond this episode, but I'm just wondering if Talos is actually even Talos. Basically, Talos, however you pronounce it. Because in this, they talked about the very first thing that he said to the group of Skrulls was, I trust Fury. And I don't use that term very lightly. You know, like, it takes a lot for him to trust people. Okay, the present time. And we have Gaia.
Yeah.
Got it there, right? Yes. And she proves her loyalty towards Gravik by joining him after the big bombs go off. So she's like, yes, I'm in support of you, to, gain his trust and for him to have reassurance, I guess, that she didn't backstab them, even though she tried to. And then you have Talos take Fury away from that. And then we get the train scene. And this is where I was trying to bring up the trust thing, that on the train, Fury gave that big speech about his mum and how his mum would know when he's lying by playing the game of tell me something I don't know. And we get that really good scene there with them. Like, I thought the dialogue in that was really, really good. They're fighting back to and from each other was really good. And again, you see Fury, who's a little bit hesitant. He's a little bit like, what are you holding back? What aren't you telling me? So I really like that scene there. And just the way that Fury, related everything back to the truth and wanting to find out the truth about things. It really sums up the whole series, I think, because in the back of my mind, that's where the suspense is, that I don't know who to trust. I literally don't know who is a Skrull, who isn't a Skrull, or who has good intentions in this show, or who doesn't have good intentions. It keeps my mind going, and I really like that. So what did you guys think of that fight scene?
Which scene?
Oh.
The train scene where they're like back and forth.
Yeah, no, again, those two, are great actors. You put them across from each other, you're going to get that kind of a level of dialogue back and forth. But it is a great scene because, like you said, it's the story behind it. And he's like, look, man, like, we've been friends for a long time, but I know you're bullshitting me at this point.
And the information we get from that scene alone, like that there's potentially over like close to 1 million Skrulls that are there. And it's just like, what? Hold on.
And
you didn't run that by anyone?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love Fury's line in there too, where he says, Taylor says something about like coexisting, and he's like, humans can't coexist with humans. We've been at war for years. Like, and it really hit home, didn't it? To think that, how can we have other species join us when we can't even join together ourselves, when we all want the same thing, or we should, and we still let greed and all these other issues impact us. So,
and I don't even think that he's worried about it's that many, because 1 million, look, 1 million's a lot, but it's not a lot in the scheme of people on Earth.
But it's a lot more.
It's more of, dude, I trusted you too. Like, you trusted me, I trusted you, and you lied to me. And That's the part I think he's more mad about, and the fact that there's a million Skrulls that are on Earth now that he doesn't know where they are. Like that's
I was going to say that's a big. Yeah, that's a massive part of it as well, especially when you think back to Falcon and the Winter Soldier series that we had, where that was all about refugees and, not having a home and not finding, having a place to belong. And it's sort of like, well, part of that reason is because we have a whole entire species that's also invading our space or their space,
Right.
So
well, and there's also another great moment in there, or a great line, I should say, is when Talos says to him, "Should we call in the big guns?" And he's like, "No, we're not there yet." Like it's just the ego of him is so great. I love that Fury. He knows himself and he knows what he can push himself to. And he's like, yeah, I'm not, no, like they're my babies, but no, we're not bringing them into this. Like, no, I'm not bringing the Avengers in yet.
Right.
Yeah.
The thing with the train though, too, I always like it when Samuel L. Jackson always has like some type of story to his character's past. And he just goes ahead and he just makes you dive into it. Like you're just sitting there close to the screen and just being engaged into that whole entire story to the point where like, okay, I want to see where this plays out. And then he's like, well, my mom used to play a game with me. And then I like the cat and mouse game where they're playing, okay. He goes, well, tell me something I don't know already. And then he winds up telling him about telling him about other people that have been coming in, other Skrulls. And then he winds up getting psyched out over it. And I don't blame him. Like Don said, he's taken completely off guard with the whole entire thing. You promised over this amount of people, and now you're telling me that there's more people on top of that. And yeah, I don't blame Nick for actually being mad about that because he's going against his word. But that's something I really liked was the whole entire characterization of where Nick came from, telling the story of his mom, and then going into that part on the train. And that's something that I really liked. And then, you know what though, Jamie? I also had this in my notes too about how it was like a callback to to Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Oh, it's a big
as well with the refugees. I'm like, this is so reminiscent to that season, to where Falcon and the Winter Soldier both can feel this kind of pull of gravity towards each other, where they both can actually, basically, if you think about it, they have something in common. And that's something that I really liked. And
it all goes back again to trust too, though. I mean, that's where it all goes back to, is because all he's saying in that moment is, dude, I trusted you. And that's the scene where Fury is saying to them, you have to trust me. And I love the moment in that. I want to talk about that real quick. Sorry. I want to hop back. But when he first meets Gravik, and he reaches out to like grab his shoulder to like be like, I'm here for you. He pulls away. And then after Talos, says his thing and then Fury says his thing, that's when he like embraces him. And that's why I think it plays into why Gravik takes that so seriously, because really, he got lied to. So what? Not a big deal. But in that moment and what happened in that moment, that's what made the lie a big deal. And then again, back to back with this train scene where he's like, dude, I trusted you. Trust is all we have, as, trying to figure this out together where nobody else knows what's going on. You and me are trying to work this together with your species and my species, but you just invaded my planet. Like, I can't have that. Like, that's a different level of, like, breaking your word.
Well, this also goes with this whole episode is basically about trust because Emilia, the girl that the mother's burying her daughter, goes, Nick, I trusted you to protect my daughter. She would follow you in the depths of hell for you.
Yeah.
And now I can't even trust you. So therefore, nobody's trusting Nick. No one's trusting the Skrulls, just like how we don't trust them as a viewer. So we're basically in the same mix as they are and feeling the same emotions that they are. And the stuff with Brody, though, too, and then saying, well, why don't we call the big guns? I like how Nick goes, no, we're not going to do that right now because it's too much of a danger, because then next thing you know, you have Skrulls mimicking them. So he already knows the game plan that the Skrulls would actually play. So I like the danger element and how self-aware he is, even though in the first episode, they wind up saying, well, if you were in your prime, we wouldn't have captured you. This guy is fully aware of what he's doing and everything. So I don't think I think he got captured on purpose just to get intel versus it being where he's just a rusted old man who doesn't know what he's doing.
Sure.
Yeah.
I still have a theory on that, but that's fine.
No.
I think he's a Skrull right now.
You know what, man? I was thinking the same thing too. I was like,
yeah, I think it's a fake Fury, and we're gonna get the real Fury event like down the line. Yeah.
Let me explain why I think he's a Skrull, though. Okay. Number one, why would Nick Fury beam himself down to Earth and do that? That does not make sense. He would be up in his spaceship, letting one of the Skrulls do all this intel, and teaching the Skrull how to walk like him, how to talk like him, how to do the things he's doing. So yeah, I agree with you. I think he's a Skrull.
All right. You want to jump on to Don? What was that?
I said I have one more person on my side.
Me and Jason's sitting there shaking our heads like, nah.
Hey,
I think it's way too. I think they're pointing us in the direction, and they want us to think that. And I think they're really trying to show that off too by the two different looking Furies. Like you have the one where he does wear the shades, and then the other one where he's got the beanie and he's got no shades on. Like I think that they're really trying to show that he's got these two sides. Like he could be a Skrull, but he could also be human. I think they're really making that very obvious, to the point where it's too obvious, to the point where I don't think that he is, and I think it's going to be something or someone else, and there's going to be other big things happening than just Fury as a Skrull. But we will see. What do you think, Jace?
I just want to say one thing. The whole scene, I agree, was beautiful and everything like that. I agree with everything they say. I'm not going to beat the dead horse. But the one thing I will say that we haven't mentioned is Talos' line to him where he's basically like, you left us. Your boots hit the ground and you said this was all way too heavy for you, man. And you left. Yeah. Like, that's a huge fucking thing. Like, could you imagine? Like, you're an alien race on this planet, and the one person that was on your back, he left for 5 years. You thought he was coming back and he was going to help you guys again, and all of a sudden he went to his fucking space station and left you. Of course you're going to start doing some fucking erratic shit.
Right, because you counted on him. And also, too, that goes back to the whole thing about the woman's daughter falling into the depths of hell, just like how the Skrulls also counted on him. So you have that area where basically he doesn't even trust him because of the fact that he made promises that he couldn't even keep. And now they're on their own. So yeah, I don't blame him either, Jason. I mean, I would actually do the same thing. It's like, okay, well, who the hell can I just depend on? I might as well go after my own species that I can depend on because we're the same blood.
Oh yeah.
Makes sense. No, it makes sense. Absolutely.
Yeah, that was a really good line when they were fighting in the train there too, Jace, that you bring up. He says something about the host, and he says, yeah, but what happens when the host disappears, So, yeah, the way that he delivered that was really good. I agree. All right, so where are we moving on to? Oh, so we're moving on to Maria Hill's funeral, or the state funeral at least.
Oh, yeah.
And, guys, I really thought, okay, she's not dead. Like, this is a whole Fury faking his own death thing, like in Winter Soldier. Not dead, will come back. I really thought that. But then I think, why would they have this massive state funeral and go through that whole scene again? Like, I really do think that she's not coming back. She will be back in flashbacks, obviously, because she's credited for the entire series. But I don't know. I can't see them pulling the same trick twice and it pulling off,
I just don't know if she's a big enough character to do it with either, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way. I just mean in the overall MCU, she's not like a huge.
I mean, it would just suck. Like, it would really suck if they really snub her out this way, because like, she's been dedicated to the role of Maria Hill this entire time, and she's gotten maybe 20 lines throughout the rest of these movies, and maybe some of the shows she had a few more. Like, I mean, it's just like she deserves more than that. Like, I truly feel like it. Like I said, she's been a dedicated person to the role, and to do her this dirty would be a dishonor. But I could definitely, I completely understand what you mean. Like, it does not seem like she is coming back, because if they do pull that twice, it would be a bit redundant.
Yeah, a bit flat. Yeah, but I don't know. I really was hoping for it. And, I was thinking back to Winter Soldier and, she was there when she was one of the people that knew, Fury was still alive. And I don't know. I just really had high hopes that, maybe this is a faked death. But after that scene with the mum, I can't see them pulling
other
that.
than Coulson, she's really been his right-hand man the entire, as long as we've known Fury.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's a tough one. It really is a tough one.
It is. I'll move
that
on
scene
from
with
that.
her mom is just heartbreaking. Sorry. Her mom, the woman that played her mom is amazing in that moment. She really is.
Yeah.
She really is.
Yeah.
Saying you're the reason that my daughter is being brought back in a box.
Yeah.
Like, oh my God.
Oh, she knows Fury. It's hard to play a person that knows Fury in this world. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. And the line that
felt like she knew who she was. Like she has known this man for a long time, or at least she knows him. So yeah.
It kind of reminds you of Jaws in a sense with Officer Brody. Whenever the mother winds up slapping him in the face, be like, "Well, you're the person who is supposed to be protecting my son against what's going on here."
Yeah.
And so therefore it's your fault what's going on. So it's kind of has that kind of moment for me whenever I've seen that too. So my mind went instantly to Jaws because of the blaming someone of a higher power because they were supposed to be protecting somebody that they love.
Sure. Yeah.
So yeah, that's the instant thing I thought of.
Yeah. And then I was just gonna say that this scene, just how like she basically tells them like they're feeding me this bullshit. You're not gonna be the one to feed me this bullshit.
That's what I'm talking about. She talks to him like, no, dude, like we know each other. Like we know each other. Like
the way she just it feels like, to be honest, like she might have been an agent with him at a certain point and like they work together on some things. Like it just feels that way. There's that like, and it, like I said, it's just that line where she's just like, that one told me that this country owes me a great debt, but apparently that debt isn't in what has happened and where she died. And like,
either she worked with him before, or she like her and her daughter just have that type of relationship where she tells her mom everything.
Which I also can't see Maria Hill telling her mother anything.
No, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. Yeah.
I can't see Maria.
They do some off the book stuff. Yeah, no, that's true. That's very true.
Hey, Mom, by the way, I went to Russia.
I'm a secret agent.
Yeah, right.
Shit, that was supposed to be secret.
No, that's fair.
Be like Hagrid. Damn, I wasn't supposed to tell you that.
It's like, you know the Avengers.
She just talks in her sleep. Her mom is always there. I mean, it's okay.
That reminds me of Ant-Man, and he's like, me and Cap, and she's like, Cap? Yeah, we're friends. We're best friends.
That's funny.
But yeah, I'm leaning more towards the fact that they work together versus them having that close relationship.
I mean, really, who cares? It's got nothing to do with the bigger picture of things, but it's just us speculating, so it's a bit of fun.
Hey, you don't know. She might have to come out of retirement and kick some ass now. Her daughter's dead. You never know.
Yeah. Her daughter's gone, and we'll see her as the next understudy of Fury. Yeah. Oh gosh. Oh dear.
Well, continuing on.
Back on track. So we move on then to Gravik's council, members of the council, I think you would call them.
Yeah. Shoot him, McGavin.
Who are all
so those are all like the leaders of the countries, right? Like that's like the prime minister,
one of them
the president, and go ahead.
Yeah, one of them was a news anchor from the United States. One of them was the prime minister, like you said, and the president.
UK, right?
Yes.
And then the other one was India.
The
lady was India, and then the guy. Yeah, okay. I just want to make sure because I'm like, these are all like the leaders of their countries, like having a meeting with them now.
Yeah. These are like leaders of their supposed free worlds.
Right.
This is where this show got interesting for me. I'll be honest. Is this scene right here is where this show I was like, oh, we're like into political stuff. Yeah, we're into it now.
Yeah.
And again, the line, like the dialogues in this episode alone were just so
great writing. Yeah.
Holy crap, was it so good?
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So Gravik starts talking about being at war, and I forget his line about being a dog, but the man said something along the lines of calling him a dog, and he's like, I prefer dogs.
I quite
They're
like
not
dogs.
hypocrites. Yeah. And he went on about all the things that humans do that like dogs or other species as an example probably wouldn't do. So yeah, that comparison, and I guess giving up on Earth, like before he's even had a chance. Before he's even really had a chance to see it. Like, I guess, I mean, maybe he has seen it growing up, but has he grown up this whole time in the power plant? Like, how secluded has he been from humanity, because he seems to just disregard all of Earth, like that we're all hypocrites, liars, damned for war. And I really love the line, I think her name was Sonia, and she's like, do you remember why
we came here?
No, why we were actually invaded in the first place from
Skrulls,
right. Because it wasn't that we
weren't willing to wage war. It was we were too willing.
Oh, come on. Yeah. So again, you get a little bit of the backstory as to why all this is happening and why there were why war was among their I don't want to say country. What am I talking about here?
Their planet.
Their planet, yeah. Right, why all that happened. I really love the dialogue there. And then the leader of, I think she was she from England? The lady who appointed him.
I think she was the prime minister. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's what they said was prime minister. Yeah, that's what I heard.
Yeah, I believe she was the prime minister of the UK.
Yeah, she was the prime minister.
Okay.
Yeah, and she appointed him as their general. I think they called it.
Well,
right?
yeah, she called a motion to have him appointed, and one of them was going to I forget it was the president of Russia, was it, or
something like that.
I can't remember who he was, but he was trying to interject, and he got a quick chop to the throat and said, "Shut the fuck up."
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And it was really beautiful when that Sonia lady didn't submit to Gravik, like everybody did, even when that guy was literally like forced into submission, I guess you could say. And she stood up for what she thought was right. I mean, sure, you could argue that maybe he let her go because, he does want Talos, to lure Talos in. He knows she's going to go and spill the beans to somebody. I don't know. Maybe you could argue that. But I think genuinely he had a lot of respect for her, that she was fighting for what she thought was right, which essentially is what he thinks he's doing as well. So it's all about perspective, I guess.
He has a line in that said, if I had 100 people like you, I'd take over the universe. Like that, and I mean, it was just such a great line, and like I feel like that alone just shows the amount of respect and like he had for her in like the what she had said, even because I'm sure even to a certain degree, like he understands that was probably Skrullos' downfall, but I'm sure he thinks that this is different and that he can do better.
Yeah.
Right.
That makes sense, man.
But yeah. I thought I thought the political stuff really worked with this scene. I had a feeling that they were all Skrulls, nobody was human or anything like that. But like Jason said, the dialogue flowed really well with this. I believed every single thing. Seeing that woman leave, though, with her head held high because she believed what she believes in, I mean, it gave me hope for the other Skrulls who actually feel the same way that she does, and seeing who might stand behind her. So that was something that I really liked about it, was the fact, behind all this disagreement, you have this one person, despite the fact that this person's threatening everybody, she's going to go on ahead and do what's right and don't even care if it even risks her own self. And that is a definition of a hero. I really think that is fantastic.
Yeah, living with integrity. And then we move on to where Gravik goes back to the power plant, and everybody's cheering him on like as the new leader. And we see Gaia. Fuck me, I don't know why I always go the other way. Guy, just think of Guy. Just call her a guy, for God's sake. Gaia realizes that she's sort of on the outskirts here. Like she thinks that she's got this really good bond with Gravik, and she really thought that after the bombings that, she gained his trust by showing, I'm still on your side sort of thing. But she realizes that he's got some other business going on that she's not really involved in. So she follows the other guy, can't remember his name, follows him to the secret
lab.
laboratory, and
Yep.
they're doing experiments there, and they keep talking about the harvest as something. So we know that they're doing something that's much larger than just wanting to find a new home on a new planet. And then we see Gaia. There you go, guys. Got it. On the computer, and she's looking up, what's going on basically, and she gets interrupted by Gravik, and they have that moment there where you can feel the tension. He knows she's up to no good, vice versa. And we see on the computer screen Groot. There was some other characters there. I did research after it to see who the hell they were. What did you guys think of that? The fact that they're testing or experimenting on things here. It's much bigger than
Can we go just a little bit further? Because when they drive away with her in the car with that other dude.
Oh, I thought she was about to get snuffed.
Oh, dude, I thought she was dead for sure.
I thought it was about to be a snuff.
They were going to kill.
She was.
I didn't think the other dude was. I thought she was, because dude looked at her after he took the other dude out there. He just looks at her for a minute like, "You are so lucky it ain't you right now. Like, you are super lucky it ain't you right now." Like, the look you give her is like the death look, like straight up.
Yeah, that would be too quick, because
I thought she was.
I think she's gonna. No, I think she's gonna be bait. They're gonna use her as bait to lure Talos in to make that final blow. And another moment that I've completely skipped over is where Gravik was talking about Fury, and she said, "Why didn't you kill him? Like, you had an opportunity to kill him. Why didn't you?" Yeah. And he said, "He's old. He's vapors or something like that." And then he said, "You don't give him. You don't." What was the line? You don't give the enemy what he wants.
You don't give the man what he wants.
Yeah. And that goes to what you're talking about now. Like, they could kill her. Sure, they could kill her at any point in time. But why kill her when they can use her and kill her for a purpose? So
keep her on edge.
No, but it goes back to that scene that you were talking about where she's sitting at the computer. That's why I was like, oh no, he knows. Yeah. Like, he definitely knows that she's not kosher now. So yeah. That's why I for sure thought when that happened, when they got that guy out of there, and he's like, "Oh, I didn't tell anything." I was like, "Okay, maybe he'll make it." She ain't making it out of this. Like, that's immediately what I thought was. She ain't making it out of this. So, but I like her character. The only thing that confuses me with her, this is one thing I will say I don't understand yet, is so she didn't know that they had something to do with killing her mom, but Talos tells her that.
I was going to say she does, yeah.
And she still shows loyalty to him over her dad, which I still don't understand that decision.
I think she's trying to prove it. I was like, she's trying to. I think part of it is she's trying to prove it and find it out.
Sorry,
no, you're fine. I think she's trying to still figure that part out for herself. Like, she wants to believe Talos, but I think part of her is just trying to do everything she can to discredit Talos, because she just. That's her father, and she just, teen angst, rebel. But, and it's just I think it's more along the lines of she doesn't know where she fits in. She's trying to fit in here. She doesn't think she fits in over there. And I think, I just think she's just a confused teenager.
Right. Yeah. She doesn't know what side that she belongs on or anything like that, because she's just discovering things for her own self too. So she's in the middle.
Yep.
Yeah.
And everything.
That's fair. No, like I said, it was just weird, because I would think if I was told that, even if I was mad at my dad or whatever, I would be like, well, I still want to know. Is he lying to me? I don't know if I'd let them kill people after that. I don't know if I would just let the bombs go off still, knowing that there's a chance they kill my mom too. I'd be like, well, maybe I want to check them out first too now. I don't trust you. I don't 100% trust you yet, but I don't know if I trust them anymore now either. You know what I mean? It's something you at least got to investigate. But I get it. But she also can't not do it, because then he'll kill her. He would definitely kill her if she tried to stop it. Yeah, so that's fair. Okay.
And she can do a lot more from the inside than she can, trusting Talos, and that she can.
That's fair. That's fair.
And then we move on from that, and we get to the courthouse scene where we get Rhodey there speaking to the council, and we see some of the members that were obviously a part of that member of the council with Gravik there. So they're basically saying, why isn't your leader here? Why are you here speaking on behalf of other people? Which I think also shows a little bit of their intentions. Like they really want the big players here. They don't want. I think they want to take out the big players. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And they can't do that if they've got people stepping in for them. So we see Rhodey there, and I don't know. You guys keep thinking Nick Fury is the Skrull, but I honestly think he is. Like the way that he spoke. Yes. Oh my Lord. Yes.
I don't know because I my mind went instantly to Falcon Winter Soldier kind of vibes. In a sense, with him singing, with the speech itself, when he's telling Nick, he goes, "Look, I'm just gonna tell you, brother to brother, that this is not gonna work. With the bombing and stuff like that, there's too much heat, so therefore I'm just gonna have to discharge you." So I believe that Rhodey is actually who he is, and then I also like how Nick said, "Don't forget who put you in this seat that you're in."
Yeah.
Either. So, I mean, yeah.
Yeah. I was a little bit talking about that, like, scene at the at the judge sort of place before it, because he says something like he turns around to whoever the scribe is, and he's like, don't quote me on the words, but something like, if Russia looks at me again, looks at me again, I'm going to carpet bomb her or something. And I'm like, the fuck? Like, this is a member.
He's gonna put the suit on again and carpet bomber. That was that was the greatest line ever. And then the next line when he looks at the council and they're like, "Why don't you? Where's your leader at?" And he's like, "Because we didn't think it was important enough for him to be here. That's why they sent me." Like, I just love his swag in that moment because he's just like, "No, like you guys aren't even that important at this moment. Like none of this is important to us." Like. It rings true to how the United States would play that.
Says the man wearing the American hat and glasses.
Yeah, we're arrogant. We're arrogant.
To drink some water.
America. Fuck yeah. Motherfucking yeah.
Brilliant. No, if you don't open every show like that, Don, I'm going to be disappointed.
America.
You know what? That should be your thumbnail with the hat.
America.
I can do it.
Yeah.
I can do it.
Oh dear. Yeah. So anyway, then as John was leaning to, we get that really good dialogue there. That was probably my favorite scene, to be honest with you, with him and Fury at the table there, talking brother to brother, so to speak. And he's like, "How well do you know your security?" Again, Fury has the goggles on, so maybe he can see, like he saw the infrared bags and things like that. So maybe he can see that they're up to no good. I'm not really sure. Maybe it was a warning shot. I'm not really sure. But just the fact that, like, one of the things that he said was, "I think we should call in the Avengers." And he was really quick to do that. And I was like, why would he want the Avengers? What has he seen that's a threat? If these Skrulls that have been on Earth, he gave us the speech that he's known about them for however many years. I'm going to say 15, but like a long time he's known about them, right? But around the Avengers time. So what is the threat now? Like,
now you have
a million of them. It's the million of them
right?
You didn't know about.
Now you have my fucking schizophrenia acting up. Now I think, because Talos mentioned the Avengers too.
Yeah, he did.
And they just want to bring them in so quick. And they want them, we know now, because of their DNA, they want to create these Avengers, duplicate these people, which they can very easily do. And it's like, well, why would he want to bring them down now? We don't even know where these a million Skrulls are. We don't even know if that's true.
Well, this goes
from
into
his point of view. Sorry.
Well, this goes into what I gotta say about Rhodey in this moment, because I love Don Cheadle. I think he's a great actor. But what really upset me in this scene with him is he is really disrespectful to Fury, and I get where he's coming from, and I understand his job and what he has to do in that moment. But he is a dick to Fury in that moment.
And he didn't want to hear him out or anything.
No. So that you're kind of leaning me towards that now too, Jamie, because
it's my overthinking brain. I'm sorry, it's really nothing.
Only because he's just, as much as I think Brody would still do that exact same thing, or Rhodey would do that exact same thing to Fury, he would never do it in such a disrespectful way. No. That's where I think the difference is. Because even he says to him, trying to be like the real Rhodey is, like, I respect you. You're one of my, you're a person I looked up to my whole career, but I have to do this right now, which I think he would still say. But again, it's the way he words things in that moment that is really disrespectful to Fury. He's almost like, dude, you're way too old. I am the new you. Do you know what I mean?
Not only that, but they even forget that they're even government officials or anything at that point too. It just treats them
man, Brody can't be a Skrull, damn it.
I mean, again, I'm probably overthinking like I do with a lot of things. I sit back and I'm like, but wait.
No, but that's what this whole show is about.
I meant this.
Theory fits.
Yeah, no, that's the whole point of this show is who isn't. Like that's having a theory in this show, really I don't even think is a bad idea. Like literally saying the table is a Skrull at this point, I'd be like, yeah, there's probably a chance the table might be a Skrull at this point.
Yeah. Well, after it, I was watching a video where people were like picking up Easter eggs and things like that. And they're like, every time someone's a Skrull, there's like a green thing in the room, like a green light or a green wall. And I'm like, man, I need to go back and watch this shit because I do not pick up on things like that. Like I wasn't sitting there in that beautiful dialogue where they were really having these moments. Fucking hell.
It's just going to be that
find
moment.
That picture of me, Jace.
It's going to be that moment from Transformers when the Allspark gets out and all the things start coming to life. There's going to be like mailboxes standing up, turning into Skrulls, and like lampposts turning into
Skrulls.
They're everywhere.
I mean, that's from the very first episode.
It's going to be everything turning into a Skrull.
Oh, God.
That's
anyway.
great.
Again, yeah, it's probably nothing, but
I'm
it's
convinced.
me, so I'm bringing it up.
No, I tell you, I'm not. I don't think
like,
you're crazy. I don't think you're crazy.
Why does he want the Avengers so quickly? Why would he want that?
That's a good point.
And like I said, now you got me thinking because like I said, I don't like that Talos brought it up either. Because why?
Again, that's what I'm saying. Like,
and we know he's a Skrull. I mean, either way, we know he is. So it's not like.
But like, what if that's not the Talos? Like
that's what I said at the start.
Yeah.
Like it could be like the Talos that we end up seeing could be like he could have gotten separated from in that bombing. He got picked up by a different Talos who was pretending to help him, and we're seeing him calling about Gaia because he still doesn't know where Fury is and what has happened to him.
Yeah.
So he's trying to do the next best thing. That could.
I've got in your head, Jason.
When you see him as Skrull Talos, he looks like Skrull Talos, though. That's the only thing.
But when do we see him as Skrull Talos in between those two scenes?
Well, not in between those two scenes, but earlier in the episode we do. So.
Well, that's
I got you. No, you're not wrong. No, again, look, I'm with you.
All speculation.
I think it's true. I think it could be true. So.
Yeah. I don't even know where I'm at now. I've just planted a bomb and let it all go off. There we go. Back to their little conversation, Fury and Rhodey. My favorite line of the entire thing, if not that lady standing up for herself, that was beautiful as well, was Nick Fury. I'm Nick Fury. I was expecting him to say like motherfucker or something like that.
I know, right?
Next to this motherfucking plane. But seriously, that line where he's like, I'm Nick Fury. Even when I'm out, I'm in. I was like, oh.
I love that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That was such a spy line.
Yeah.
It was such a spy line.
Felt so good, didn't it?
Just when I'm out, they pull me back in.
Yep. And then we get to the fun stuff. I really enjoy this lady. I called the other lady Sonia, but I don't think her name's actually Sonia. What's the torturing lady? What's her name?
That's Sonia. Yeah,
that is Sonia, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Sorry, I called the other lady that was in the member room her. Anyway, we get that really awesome moment with her torturing the guy who he's an American. He's an American, clearly trying to frame the Americans, over the attacks. She takes him in that room, puts the thing on the door so he can't get out. He's all chained up and she injects him. Well, first she cuts off his finger, which was super cool to see. Finger turns green. Clearly he's a Skrull, which she already knew. And then she injects him in the butt with the serum and makes him, start talking, start burning up. So cool.
I'm burning for you.
Yep. What do you guys think of this? Light it up.
You know why I like her in this scene? Because she's not menacing.
Right.
Do you know what she is, but she isn't. Like she plays it just kind of like a soccer mom that's just like has this like weeds almost like this normal lady in the day, but like has this crazy secret life nobody knows about.
She reminds me of
like she just walks in there like a normal mom, like with her purse on and everything, and she's just like, "Oh no, I'm gonna make you talk. Don't worry, your blood's."
She reminds me of the
cool
teacher. You know, you remember the teacher from the Harry Potter? Yes, she reminds me of just the
She does. She has
you're gonna be talking. I swear.
Right? Yeah. Like she's not
even writing lines, but it'll be okay.
She's so menacing because she's just like a normal person almost. Like she plays it just like a normal, like a soccer mom. Like I don't know how else to say it.
Like she's giving her kids cookies, but you realize really she's injecting this.
Which makes it so much more terrifying because that's the person you don't want to fuck with because they're obviously nuts. Because nobody can act normal in that situation without being nuts. So
no.
She has lost her mind.
That was a really good scene there. I loved her. As you said, she's every time that she's on screen, even in episode 1, she just had so much chemistry and was really fun to watch. The moment
I really liked her in this episode.
Yeah,
same, so much more. Yeah. She entered and he's like, "Who the hell are you? I'm above your pay grade." Like a bird.
I know that she says when she goes into the meat locker was this. She goes, "Okay, where's your escape hatch?"
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's underneath. It goes, "Quit beating your meat." I'm like, "Oh my god, they put."
But I think she says it's a rather inefficient way to beat your meat. I think is
your
what
mother
she said.
Right. Is what she said without losing an eye or something.
Right.
Oh my god.
But I like how she goes to the escape hatch though too. She's like, "So where's your escape hatch at? Why?" That was my other, but you also know
why is there an escape hatch in a freezer? Like what is happening right now?
If I ever get locked in the meat freezer, I'm gonna be like, I seen this on an episode of Secret Invasion. I know what to do.
Yep. Exactly.
Go to the freezer room. There's an escape hatch in there.
Well, I mean, now that blows up every time they've locked somebody in a freezer in a movie. Now I can't trust it because they could have got out the whole time. So now I don't know why they.
No, Don, it was only this one that had an escape hatch.
Yeah. Not all of them. And yeah, she obviously assumes that Gravik is going to come, or someone from the Skrulls is going to come to try and save this guy. She gets the information out of him. I expected there to be like a little bit of a bomb drop there, like as if we should know who those people are. Hey, Legend, how you going? Are you watching this? Let us know in the comments.
Hey.
Yeah, so he already did let us know in the comments. Whoops, maybe I should give up. Secret Invasion. I'm loving it so far. I think Marvel nails these movies and shows with spy espionage tones. Gotcha. Yep.
I agree.
Yeah, we agree. We like it as well. It's really good. And very different. Like it just seems like they're not trying so hard to be funny. Every series lately, they're really pushing it, really trying to be comedic. And it's like sometimes you don't need to. Sometimes you can be really funny without trying to be funny. Like,
Nick Fury's hilarious. Nick Fury, there's a lot of lines where he is hilarious, and he's not trying to be funny at all.
Exactly. And
it's all his delivery, I think. Like, it's just his delivery is so A1. Samuel L. Jackson is a god-tier actor.
Oh, I agree. Absolutely.
Anyway, we get the torturing scene. She gets the information that she wants, and we see Gaia step out, and she phones somebody. I thought here maybe she was calling in Talos. And she tells her new recruit guy to stay in the car. Gravik obviously comes in and, saves this guy. What did you tell them? How much information did you give? Things like this. Yeah. They take him back with them. And along the way, you can see that their safe house, I think that they called it, got raided. So, that obviously Gaia is working or planting her seeds from the inside out, which is what we were talking about earlier, Don, about how she can do so much more by being in than by being out, which again refers to Fury's line. But yeah, so we see them raiding the safe house, and they take I really don't know the names, but the guy who was saying I'm an American and actually did the bombings, they take him and they shoot him when they're in the power plant, which I thought was an amazing scene as well, because you knew he was going to die, right? Like we all knew they wouldn't let him live. But I just kept thinking, why haven't they killed him? Like, where are they taking him? Why aren't they killing him? And then it clicked, like, okay, you can't just leave, you can't shoot him because he'll revert back to Skrull form. And then people will be like, oh my God, where'd this random Skrull person come from? So by taking them back to home and killing him off there, like, that was very clever. And I thought that was a really smart thing.
Also, how do you think Gaia feels knowing that she's the one? Because he didn't give up the safe house. From what I remember, he didn't give up the safe house.
I don't think they were killing them over the safe house, though. I think they were killing him over the fact that, secretly.
Well, but I'm pretty sure. Well, because I'm pretty sure they would have thought that he because he literally gave the moment.
Yeah, I think you're right.
The moment they pass it, he gives him a look in the back seat.
Yep.
And looks at the dude sitting next to him and gives the guy, not Gaia, the dude that's sitting next to him.
Yeah.
The look, and then that's when they drive off and then they go kill him. I'm pretty sure they thought that he gave up the safe house and the information, and then I knew they were going to kill him anyway, but I think that moment is when they passed it. They were like, oh, he was the one that was just taken into custody. He was the one that was just hostage and he almost died. He's probably the one that gave up the information.
Right.
Maybe.
And I don't know how Gaia would how do you think Gaia really feels about that?
Because she thought she was dead. I think she thought she was dead.
Right, because that look on her face says it all, to be honest with you. Especially when, she's like, well, I can kill you just like how I kills everybody else. And the look on her face is just like, okay, I cannot get out of this no matter which way I try now.
Yep. Oh, she's definitely stuck now. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
No doubt. He's not going to let her out of the fight now. So
unless she reaches out to her dad, which is the whole plan all along.
Well, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. But he's not going to leave his sight now. He's not going to let her leave his sight.
I mean, we knew that anyway from that scene where she was on the computer. When he knew that she knew, that was it. That's why I think that she went along on that mission, because if you remember, she went along to the member council and he gave her the gun and said, shoot this guy if I'm not back in an hour. Like, why can't she come in? What's so secretive? Why are you keeping information from her? So, yeah.
It's the invasion that's secret.
Thanks, Jay. I need to get some freaking
The invasion already happened.
Drum thing. What happened after that? Oh, and then the finale. Then we get the ending scene where we have Nick Fury driving,
embracing his Skrull wife,
his sexy Skrull wife, and she makes him put on the wedding ring. And again, I don't know if that referred to what was happening in the very first shot where you had the Skrulls and Fury was giving the speech to them in 1995, because they did zoom in on a ring there. I don't know why they zoomed in on a ring in that scene, but they did.
Probably for that reason.
Yeah, because at the end there, she's like, are you forgetting something? And he went and put on his wedding ring. So were you guys shocked by that he was married to a Skrull, or?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was. 100%. I was definitely. I remember having to rewind it back.
Yeah, at first I'm like, he's rolling up and I see the Skrull cook and I'm like, all right, so is this one of his friends? Like, does he know the person? Like, they're walking up, and then that whole scene where, forget, I was like, you dirty dog, you.
Which is another reason I don't understand. Well, not that I don't understand why, but well, no, just that Talos hasn't told him yet that there's a million of them there, because he's married to a Skrull. So, there has to be something we're missing in the level of trust between them. There's something missing there, because it doesn't seem like there's any reason for him not to tell him that, except for he didn't tell him. So, you know what I mean? I just don't understand why.
There was a million Skrulls suddenly on Earth.
Well, no, because he knows they're there. He knows there's a certain amount there, or at least he told him there's a certain amount there. So, I don't understand why if Fury went as far as to marry one, why he doesn't trust him enough to tell him the whole truth. I guess that's just kind of where I'm missing that part of what Talos is, why Talos is holding back.
I think he was afraid to tell Fury the truth, because think of it like this. Because we all have friends. We all tell each other things that we wouldn't even tell anybody else, but sometimes we hold back something that we know that would actually hurt somebody else.
Sure.
So therefore, we hold back our feelings.
Yeah, that's what normal people do. Sorry, friends, you picked the wrong one here.
But I'm just saying, some people are reserved.
That doesn't work like that, John.
No. But
Anyway, sorry.
some people are very reserved about their feelings to the point where they're like, maybe I can't trust this person with this right now. Maybe they have to work up to probably to that point as well.
Maybe
So
he
that's
just forgot it. Maybe he forgot it. Like Barry's dad forgot the bloody can of tomatoes. Okay, guys. Men,
don't get me started. Do not get me started.
Batman's gonna come
maybe
in.
they should have just put it on another shelf. Maybe it would have been fine.
I'm never watching this movie now. Officially, I don't want to see it. Now.
Oh shit! I
You
still
don't.
haven't watched it.
No,
Sorry,
I
Dawn.
don't.
I didn't spoil anything apart from
No. Believe me,
No.
you didn't spoil anything. No,
Oh.
you're
Hope I didn't.
Anyway,
No.
so I see what you're saying. Like, why didn't Talos tell him that, knowing that he had a wife that was of Skrull species?
Well, I mean, obviously his level of commitment is high. Like, it's not like Fury's like half-assing it. At least at that point, I guess, when they first came, met and all that, and all this was happening. That's all I just don't know why he would hold back that specific piece of information. Again, other than like John said, maybe just he didn't think Fury would be like okay with 1 million of them being there. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm gonna tell him there's a few, but not 1 million.
Yeah.
There's like 40,000. That's all.
I mean, yeah, he went in there pretty strong. How many? 5? How many really?
Right.
1 million?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like there was no in between.
Let's play a game.
And he's like, wait, what did you say? 1 million? And he's like, oh no, like 40,000. Like,
Deal or no deal.
Like Chris Evans movie about like romantic relationships, like a rom-com, and yeah, it's called What's Your Number or something like that. And yeah, I can't remember if he had the high number or the girl did, like making out like one of them was a little bit of a hoe. But yeah, that was a really good movie. Anyway, remind me of that.
I have another question too. Is that the same one from the flashback? The wife?
Well, this is what I was getting at, and I only just thought of it just now, Don, when you mentioned about the wife and Talos trusting him and stuff like that. And I thought back to that scene in 1997 where they were introduced to Gravik, and it was that lady that introduced him to Fury. And I'm thinking
it looks like the same one when they're when she's a Skrull. Like she looks like the same Skrull.
And if they can't have a kid because they don't want to cross species and get their Skrulls included? What if they raise this?
So
kid
did he raise Gravik?
It's all.
That's what I'm thinking.
Did he actually raise Gravik as his son?
Because if you look at the face on him,
we need some.
It says it all.
He is a light-skinned black guy when he's a human. I mean,
yeah.
He would pick. That would be a natural pick for him if those were his parents. You know what I mean? Like that would be so. Wow,
guys.
Oh, is Gravik his son? Yeah. Is Gravik his son? That's what we need to know.
Is Gravik his son? And that's why the Grudge is so targeted.
Why'd you do this to me?
Questioning
everything.
My brain. I
God,
love these.
When Fury shoots him in the head in the last episode, and he says, Daddy! It's gonna be amazing.
And
oh my god! And that could also be like, but that could also be like why he's covering up. Like, oh, when she asked him, "Why didn't you shoot him?" And it's just like he does have this moment where he like thinks about what he's going to say, and then he says that whole like
vapors. Yeah.
God.
And again, the vapors was really smart line too because Nick Fury literally like Spider-Man, he turned to vapors, turned to dust. So that was a good line too. But yeah. Yeah, guys, sorry to drop that bomb there. That was just my thoughts. That might turn it out to be
someone's calling out the Jedi Master.
Bring it. What's the question?
Sorry, guys. I'm not getting the comments up often.
I want to know. Yeah, this would be good.
Go for your life, Mr. Rock. Welcome to my friends. Ask away. He will answer. I will make him.
He would be the one to ask.
Yes, he will, definitely.
I'm still a Padawan.
He is my second favorite character, so I better get it right.
You're going to get this so wrong.
It's probably so wrong. Yeah, it's probably some crazy thing that I've never which is fine. That's awesome because I love learning new things. So
Like now, I'm just sitting on the end of my seat. Rock loss.
I know. I'm just watching
I'm
now.
waiting
Like,
for
oh,
this.
what is it
Like,
gonna be?
you know when someone's typing on Messenger and you can see the 3 little dots, like, did you do? I'm
I
like,
know.
yeah, what's the dots?
Come on.
That's so funny.
While we're waiting on that, though, what do you think of that,
Yes.
John? Did I ask you, like, I think Jace and Don and I were like, yes, tinfoil hats, like, there's the wall. What do you think about that if Fury raised him sort of thing?
Me?
Yeah, go
yes,
ahead, John.
but
Go
I'll
ahead,
cut
go
you off just there real quick.
No, let's see.
Mark Hamill was in a pilot series. What is the series? Was he in before he went to Star Wars? I know the answer to that because he used it on me. But yep.
I actually don't know the answer. So what was it?
And it was with Ralph Macchio in it.
I was
Like,
gonna say,
really?
that's not a.
Yeah.
I don't
It was
know.
like
Oh, I
19
definitely. I mean,
When
that's
was
technically
Star
not
Wars?
a Luke
1977,
Skywalker
wasn't it?
question, but we will accept it. But
I
if
was
it
like,
has
that's
Ralph
not a large
Macchio and Mark Hamill in it, I want to watch it. So
It
what
was a
is that?
series from back in 1970s, I'm pretty sure. See, Mr. Rock, I listen. I
I
learn.
like the question,
Crazy.
though, man. I love the question.
I was just like, I don't know about that. I don't think that's a. That's a.
That's okay.
It's not a Skywalker.
Luke
We're gonna let
Skywalker
it slide
question.
because it's actually a good. I found out some good stuff.
In season 5. What was the series called again, though? It was called something 8. Like the 8. Oh, there we go. 8 is enough.
Okay.
When I looked it up, it looks like a 70s version of like Seventh Heaven, Full
I will
House, that
check
sort of
that
thing.
out.
Yeah.
I will check
You
that
might
out.
like it, Don. Anyway, thank you, Mr. Rock. He didn't get it. Mark was in the pilot episode.
Okay.
Oh, there you go. You can watch the first one and
Was only in the pilot episode.
But was Ralph Macchio in the pilot too?
yeah, in the same season apparently. I don't know if it was in the
do it.
same episode, but he apparently went straight from that to Star Wars because he was telling me all about this. Very interesting.
I love it.
Anyway, cool.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, John. What did you
No,
think?
it's
Do you think
okay.
that Fury might have raised Gravik?
I'm okay with it. If you, like I was saying before, if you look at his facial expression during the speech and then turns his head over to look at him, yeah, you can definitely. I think that he did raise him. Because otherwise, I'm like, well, why is he not celebrating with all the other Skrulls? Why does it just seems like that he's just there with no celebration in his face? So that was my initial thought.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I know the
Sorry,
answer. I know
guys.
the answer.
Now I just need to watch
Pepe.
more.
It's always been Pepe. It's always been Pepe.
Sorry,
It
guys.
has always been Pepe. All along, Pepe was a Skrull. I knew it. I knew it. I friggin' knew it. Yeah, no, that I'll tell you what. If they go with that angle, though, that's going to be a crazy reveal. If they do go with that, you guys heard it first here.
I mean,
Don't
I
forget
was just
that.
about to say,
You
yeah.
heard that first, right?
we
here.
need to. That needs to be a clip.
Dad.
This needs
Yeah.
to be a clip. You
Welcome
understand?
to
Fury
one
is
of
a
the
dad.
tabs in Jamie Lee's mind. Oh gosh.
I love it. I love it.
Thanks, guys. Love that question about Mark in the pilot. Then went on to big fame as Luke Skywalker.
Awesome.
Yep, that he
That's
did. Yeah. So that was the end of the episode, and that's it. I guess till next week. So
You need to create a new segment called "Conspiracy Theories in the Front Row."
Exactly.
right.
Right.
Oh, other things we
Then-
could come up with.
God,
My-
I'm there every week.
My poor little
Let,
brain.
let us just go crazy.
You guys already
all
get
an
it in my
inside
DMs. Oh dear. So, what do we think overall about that app? What do you think, you guys? Jump in whenever. I'm not going to go around. 9.
Yeah, no. I think we've all said what we can, but overall, I think it's a really strong episode. I really do. I think it was a really, really good second episode. So now, with all the theories we've come up with too, now this might be the greatest show ever. So we don't know yet. We'll find out.
Groundbreaking. Yep.
I gotta say, I mean, I definitely enjoyed this episode a lot better than the first one. This is also making me more enthused for the next set of episodes that we're getting.
Yeah.
I definitely agree. If it's making us do this whole entire thing of like who's a Skrull, doing theories and stuff like that, then the show is doing its job. And because it's doing its job and everything, that's something that I feel like it needs to be done. You know what I mean? I think that this is actually I think right now, I think it's actually going strong. As far as the rest of the episodes, I have no idea yet, but I'm excited to be able to talk about it. But still,
Yeah.
I'm definitely on board.
Yeah. I'm a little bit shocked that it's got such low ratings. Like, the ratings aren't very good for it, and it had like the lowest slump like of an opening. And I was like, oh, like I actually thought this was pretty good in comparison to like She-Hulk, for example.
I mean, look, it's not the strongest opening ever for a show, no, but I still think it's a good show. I don't think it's bad.
Yeah, like the very first episode wasn't the home run we all had wanted, but
I think that's
definitely
what it is.
like this. And also, again, I think it's also probably a lot of people are just burnt out from a lot of the Marvel shows and stuff like that, and they're not putting their faith. Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah,
I completely agree. Like, I just think people are coming at it in this warped perception that it's just going to be another She-Hulk, that it's going to be another one of these lame stories that they're going to give us with, and we're not going to like it, and they're going to go woke with it and just be really in our face. But like, this is a true espionage, like spy show so far. Like, I completely agree. I think this episode is definitely, a home run in my opinion.
Yeah. Oh, I agree with that. Yeah, for sure.
John?
Yeah. I've already said everything that I need to say as far as how the episode is and everything. So yeah.
John's like falling asleep over there. Yep. Yep. I'm done.
But no,
all right.
The director sucked.
No, yeah, you did already.
Maybe you did.
He did already.
The lighting guy sucked. The lighting guy, worst lighting guy.
Shut up. John, no one asked you, Tuck.
Oh no. Anyway, all right. Sorry, John. Maybe you did. There was some funny Herbert lines in the show, and I'm like, what is this? There was. Oh, yeah, I mean, beating the meat. Yeah, we did.
That's funny. That's a good one.
And I love how she said something about like losing it.
Oh my god!
Yeah. Oh, it's really good.
Yes.
Really funny. That girl is brilliant. She's a great actress.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah. Sorry, John. Maybe you didn't give your thoughts, and it was in the other one of my tabs. Sorry. Yeah. Tell us it again. I said speak. Sorry, John. Anyway,
okay.
That was our thoughts on episode 2. We all collectively can't wait for episode 3 when we find out that, Gravik was raised by Nick Fury, which we know as a fact because it came from here.
Exactly.
And we'll see it in episode 3.
You heard it on the internet, so it's a fact.
So it's got to be true. Yeah. But yeah, great episode. Great chat with you guys. Do you want to go around really quickly before we wrap this up and close everything off? So, John, do you want to talk about your channel real quick?
Yeah, you guys can go on ahead and subscribe over to Movie Lovers Unite. Tomorrow at 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time, I'm going to be doing my 4-year anniversary for the podcast whenever I opened it up on July of 2019. So go ahead and check that out. I have a bunch of people coming in and out. It's going to be a great time of just being able to talk, just shoot the crap. That's about all. That's about it as far as things go on my channel for right now.
Can you pencil me in for like 9:59 to 10:01? Can you pencil me in for that?
Yeah, I can.
High five. What about you, Jace and Don? What do you guys have coming up?
I mean, you guys can check us out on Multiverse of Geekdom. We got Titans of the Turf. We got Multiverse of Gaming. We've got, Star Wars, his show, the Jedi Council. We do that sometimes. We have a lot of things, guys, going on. Just a lot of things. And a lot of conspiracy theories. We're coming up with conspiracy theories left and right.
Don't take my thing, Jace. Don't take my thing, mate.
What are you talking about? I'm the one that's got them on my walls, okay?
It is Pepe. It is Pepe.
Pepe is behind the whole thing. That's what we're going to find out, guys.
Always Pepe.
It's always been Pepe.
Oh, Lordy. All right. Thank you to everybody who stepped in and commented in our chat. Thank you to everybody who watches after the fact. If you're watching after the fact, make sure that you go ahead and subscribe to all these people's channels. The link is in the description, so you guys can go ahead and do that. And we will see you next week after episode 3 of Marvel's Secret Invasion. Thank you for watching. Bye.
See ya.